name's Josh. Some folks may know me as JTB. I'm a longtime member of the ASI West Tech team and founder of Progression Session Snow Camps. I'd like to invite you to join me for a snowboarding workout series that you can do from the comfort of your own home. Whether you're new to snowboarding or a seasoned rider, these indoor sessions will help you unlock new on-snow outcomes by expanding your ability to pop, rotate, and balance through a variety of exercises. By training indoors, you put your body and your mind in the perfect place to truly explore the limits of how far you can manipulate your snowboard. So the next time you hit the slopes, you'll be prepared with a higher level of fitness and a deeper understanding of movements that have been practiced. So when you're ready to drop that steep run, ride that mogul field, or stomp that 360, you'll be armed with powerful movements. So the only thing you'll need to figure out on snow is how to apply them. To do these classes, all you need is your board, your boots, some thin gloves, a flat open space, and a 4x6 piece of carpet. I like to use some masking tape to put a cross on my workspace. This helps me better understand how far from side to side I'm moving, how far I'm rotating, and gives me a target to balance over. I also like to make sure there's nothing in any direction of my workspace that I could potentially fall into. So I've taken the liberty of moving all the furniture far off to the sides of the room. If this isn't an option for you, you may want to consider using some pillows and some blankets to soften any hard surfaces and corners that you could potentially fall into. So right now, hit pause, look at the room, make sure you have a very clear, open, and safe workspace, and then come right back to me. Now that our workspace is set up, let's get started. In this session, we're going to explore longitudinal balance. Simply put, we'll be moving between the nose and tail of our snowboard bunch. We're also going to play a little with pop, which refers to our ability to generate energy to send our bodies and our boards up, over, and onto stuff. However, our first step will be to warm our body up so we can perform our best. We'll do this with our boards off. So let's start off by clasping our hands in front of us, bringing your palms out towards me. I just want you to round the back, and then straighten back up. One more time, round the back. Bring those hands out towards me, and straighten it back up. Good. Now I want you to bring your hands high up to the sky like you're reaching for the ceiling. Now bring them down into a nice forward bend. Bringing your chest towards your knees. Okay, one more time. Hands up nice and high. And then bring them down, chest towards the knees. Go ahead and grab your elbows. Give a little wobble back and forth right here. Beautiful. Really sink into it. And now go ahead and let your hands drop to the ground. And we're going to roll up slowly, one vertebrae at a time, until we're fully standing. Okay. From there, I want you to bring your hands up high to the sky. With your left hand, I want you to grasp your right wrist and just pull yourself over to one side. Try to bring your ribs high up to the sky. Now let's go ahead and switch. Grab with the other hand, and you're just pulling that left hand over to the other side of the room. Not seeing how low you can go, but how far you can go sideways. All right, and now go ahead and grab both your hands together, look up to the sky, and we're just going to try to reach behind us. Oh, fantastic. Okay, now I want you to bring your feet nice and wide, nice and wide. And we're just going to point our toes to one side of the room. I just want us to get a nice stretch, stretching the inside of our leg right there. Go ahead and point your toes the other way and do the same thing this way. Nice stretch the inside of our leg right there. One of my favorites, we're going to do some high knee rotations here. So we're just going to pick up the knee, move it out, pick up the knee, move it out, pick up the knee, move it out. Maybe follow that with a few kicks. Start with little kicks first and then see if you can get them bigger. This is going to challenge your balance a little bit. And switch legs. Start small and then move up from there. from here, nice deep squat, so feet out nice and wide, toes pointing towards each side of the room. Just going to get nice and low. What I want you to do is drop one shoulder, so you're going to drop your right shoulder, look over your left shoulder, and then do the same thing on the other side. One more time, drop that right shoulder, look over the left, and switch it up. All right. Now that we're nice and warmed up, let's strap our board on and get on to the next step. So now that our bodies are all stretched out, we've got our board on, our workspace is nice and open, we're feeling good, let's start by finding our neutral stance, or zero. The stance we come back to, the stance where we are ready to do anything. Now I know some of us like to ride in a little bit of a directional stance, and that's totally cool when we're snowboarding, but for the intents and purposes of this indoor session, it's important that we know exactly where center is, because this gives us the opportunity to have the biggest freedom of motion. So put about a half bend in your knees, pressing your shins against the tongues of your boots so your weight is distributed just slightly towards the ball of your foot. It's that fatty part behind your toes. Now with your spine upright and stacked perpendicular to your hips, I want you to move side to side, keeping your hips parallel with the snowboard. Every time you cross the center of your board, I want you to make a note of it. And if you're like me, you've got a piece of tape on your workspace here, I can totally see when I cross the center of my snowboard. Now I want you to pause on the nose, not so far that your tail is coming up in the air, but just far enough that your back foot's light. Now from here, I want you to move just to center and stop. Okay, let's do the same thing towards the tail. Keeping that spine upright, keeping those hips parallel with the snowboard. Okay, and now we're going to pause on the tail and pause. And I move to the center and stop. Let's do this a few more times so we can really teach our body where center is. So it'll be easier for us in the future to return there. So to the nose, pause, center, stop. Now even here, even in the beginning, discipline is key. So look down, make sure you're actually stopping in the center. Am I there? I look down, my line of tape shows me I'm right in the center. I'm going to do this again, towards the nose. And right over the nose. Now I'm going to return to center, and I'm going to look down at my feet. I'm going to make sure my weight is just distributed equally over each foot. One more time, back and forth to the tail, center, and stop. Okay, fantastic. So now that we've found our longitudinal center, let's find our vertical center. Let's begin by moving up and down. Now as you do this, I want you to focus on your glutes as pushing your body up. So push your body all the way up, as tall as you can be without tilting your board. And now I want you to drop down with control. Like your feet are glued to the ground and you're slowly pulling yourself down into a mellow squat. Not so far that you edge your board, but your shoulders should be over your knees, your spine aligned, your abs in strong to protect your lower back. And now if you feel any stress in the knees, that means you may be going too low at this time. So feel free to rise up and only go as low as your body wants to go. So we're going to repeat this motion a few more times, nice and slow. Take note of your feet. Make sure you're still feeling that body over the front center of your foot, right on that fatty part, the ball of your foot. And equally over both feet. Now, as we do this motion, I want you to pause in the middle. So down, and then pause, and then up. Down, pause, down. Up, pause, up. Down, pause, down, up, pause, up. If you want to start getting your heart rate up, really take your arms and reach them way out to the sides, each side of the room. Let's keep them out there, really like you're being pulled in two different directions. And let's do this squat a few more times. Down, pause, down, up, pause, up. Down, pause, down, up, pause, up. Now discipline is key here, so with each pause, I want you to take note of your position. The angles of your hips, knees, and ankles are creating. Now I want to challenge your ability to find center. So what we're going to do is we're going to perform a small pop, pushing off the balls of our feet. Using our glutes to power our legs, we're going to jump about 3 inches off the ground. And when we land, we're going to land in our lowest position and stay there. So here we go. Up, Lowest position, I'm going to stay here, and then from here I'm going to stand up to the center. We're going to do this a few more times. So, once again, up, down, and then stand up to center. Make sure you're landing on the balls of your feet, and it's totally on a totally flat board, and the weight's totally centered between both feet. Let's do this again. Up, down, landing nice and low, staying there, and then stand to center. Let's do this 5 more times. Remember to keep our abs in strong to promote good posture. Here it is. 1, to center. 2, to center. 3, to center. 4, to center. And 5, to center. You should be feeling pretty warm right now. And now that your body and your mind know where center is and how to pop and bounce and land, let's start to explore the areas beyond center, the ends of our board. Now that our body and mind know where center is and how to pop and land and bounce, let's start to explore the area beyond the center of our board, towards the ends of our board. To kick this off, I'm going to introduce a concept that I use in all of my classes, off and on snow. So it's important that we understand this thoroughly. The concept is that we can move our upper body and our lower body independent of one another. And the key to really unlocking some of snowboarding's wildest tricks is learning to be a master at manipulating the relationship between the two. To simplify this a bit, let's put it into snowboarding terms. Body over board and board under body. We'll explore this together in a moment, but for now I just want you to watch me so we have a common language. One more time, body over board. And board under body. Now together, let's move body over board. We're going to really focus on body over board. I want your board right in the middle of your star, right in the middle of your carpet, and let's start. So start by moving back and forth, but now we're going to go just beyond our feet. Just beyond our feet towards the tip and tail of our snowboard. Keeping our hips and shoulders parallel with the ground, our spine upright. Now I want you to give a short pause at the end, just a second or two. So short pause at the nose, short pause at the tail, 1, 2. Short pause at the nose, 1, 2. Short pause at the tail, 1, 2. Now we're going to do a little bit longer pause, but this time I really want us to sink into the weighted leg. So we're moving our hips far beyond the foot, sinking into that weighted leg without sacrificing form. So we're still going to keep that spine upright, still going to keep those hips in line with the ground, the shoulders parallel with the ground, move it back, over the tail. We're really going to sink into it this time, holding that pause a little longer, and then move back to the center. Okay, stretch it out a little bit. Shake out your wrists, shake out your torso, reach your hands up, put them down. All right, now let's go again. We're going to make that pause even longer. So I'm going to go to the nose, way past that weighted foot now. My hips are driving way past. And now I'm going to take that unweighted foot, my back foot, and I'm going to try to pull up on it to make the press a little bit more. You should almost see both feet coming off the ground now on my snowboard. Okay, and now let's go back. Same thing over the tail. I'm bringing those hips way far past my back foot, trying to keep my shoulders parallel with the ground, my spine upright. I'm just pulling up on that unweighted foot. Okay, let's do it again the other way. Your legs should be feeling a little fiery right now. Keeping your abs in strong so your back stays nice and tall. And the other way, one more time. This time really, really driving those hips beyond the back foot, pulling that unweighted foot up, and even driving that weighted foot down into the ground, giving a little extension with that rear leg. Will get us even more of a press. Other way. And I'm going to extend this weighted leg now, just a little bit while I pull up on this one. It's going to give me even more of a press. All right, kind of got an idea how that goes. Let's add one thing to it, just for fun. We're going to take it all the way over. So here, Go back into my neutral stance, bring my hips over the nose, and this time I'm just going to reach my hands toward the ground, keeping some strength in my legs. Like that. A little bit of a fall of faith, but we're okay. Walking our hands back. Now if you fell right here, no stress. Just pop back up to the center and we can try it again. Going towards the tail, keeping my hips in line with the board. Walking it out, walking it back. One more time this way, both ways. Here, and back, here, and back. By doing this, we are learning the position we must be in to stay in a press, and what factors relate to each other to increase the press, diminish it, or when we've gone too far. Now, let's see if we can get to a press and hold it by moving our board under our body. The key here is from the waist up, nothing changes, except for the relative height of your head in relation to the ground. All the movements needed to get into the press are going to come from your legs, shifting the board underneath you. And since we're on carpet and it's a little tacky compared to snow, we're going to give a little bit of a pop so we can shift our board from side to side. So together, we're going to pop and land on the nose. Let's give it a try. Pop, land on the nose. Your body should still be in the middle of your carpet, and the only thing that's changed is your board. Now pop and bring your body and board back to center. Okay, good. Now let's try it the other way. So same thing, I'm going to pop up, press over the tail, landing into that tail and sinking my hips down over the tail, but keeping everything parallel, spine upright, pop and bring it back to center. This time, when we bring our nose underneath us, let's really sink into it. Maybe even pulling the unweighted foot up to increase the press. And then back to center. All right, let's try the same thing over the tail. Okay. I'm going to give a little pull up too while I'm here. Pause over the tail. My body's never changed its position though. It's still in the middle of my carpet. And then back to center. Okay, so if you're sweating, feeling a little tired, maybe your feet hurt, this is a good time to hit pause. I'm going to do this a few more times right here, but then our next step is going to be to work on ollies and nollies. So one more time with some presses, little pop up, hold, sink into it, like so, little pop in the middle, pop up, hold, sink into it, pulling up that unweighted foot, and then pop to the middle. All right, go ahead and take a breather. Next step, ollies and nollies. The ollie refers to a pop generated predominantly off the tail of the snowboard, whereas the nollie refers to the same action but off the nose of the board. The ollie is a complex movement pattern that in many ways is a cornerstone fundamental of snowboarding. The cleaner you ollie, literally the better you will snowboard in all environments. So here we go. We're going to start small. So I'm going to move my body over my board towards the tail, right? Balancing over the tail in a small, low, very, very minimal press right here. I'm going to give a little push with my weighted leg and then land right back in the middle of my carpet, making sure to flex to that low position that we did earlier when we popped. So pop, and now I'm low, and I'm going to stay low, and then stand up. Now when I do this ollie, I don't want to sacrifice form, so I want to make sure that my hips are parallel with the ground, my shoulders are parallel with the ground, and when I want to land square over both feet, over the ball of my foot, equal pressure over both feet. So here it goes. Okay, one more time. And here we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing, small, but over the nose. So a small nollie. So I'm going to move my hips over the nose, just like so. Same exact thing I did on the tail. Little pop and land right in the middle of my mat. One more time. Here. Little pop. Square over both feet. Spine's upright. Abs are in. Nice. Now, let's try to go a little bit bigger. This time an ollie style. A little bit bigger. Now, we're going to notice that when we do this, we're actually going to travel a little bit towards the outside or towards the side of our workspace here. Reason being is that our board's going to catch up to our body. So if I move my body way over here, my body's over here, my board's actually going to end up underneath me. This won't necessarily happen on snow because you'll be gliding, but on carpet, that's the reality. So, big push with my back leg, pull up with my front leg, just like so. And when I land, making sure to land low and stay low. Let's try that again. So, over the tail. This time I'm going to push hard, and then I'm going to pull both my knees up, like I'm pulling my knees up to my chest. Staying low. And one more time, when you do this, I really want you to land flat on both feet on that ball of your foot right there. So, just come back, big push up, drive both knees up to my chest, and we're good. Let's try the same thing off the nose now, so nollie. So start in the center of my mat, right here. Move my hips forward beyond my foot, and I know I'm going to travel that way. That's okay, I know I'm going to travel that way. So spine's upright, big pop. One more time, maybe two more times. Land a square over the feet, equal pressure over both foot. Here. One more time. This time let's pretend like we're actually riding. So when I land, I'm going to look over the nose of my snowboard. Now try it off the tail doing the same thing. When I land, looking over the nose of my snowboard. So over the tail here, big push up, eyes are going to be that way. Cool. All right, so good work everybody. If you're not quite to the big ollies that I got right here, that's totally okay. It's always a progression, so start small. If you're still on presses, that's good. If you can't quite figure out how to get the board to land flat, totally fine. Contact me, leave a comment for me, and I'll do my best to clear up any uncertainties here. So now, before we totally close it out, let's unstrap our board and stretch out a little bit. So first things first, just take your feet and wiggle them out. Kick them a little bit, wiggle those ankles, wiggle that ankle. Now bring your hands up nice and high to the sky. Grab your wrist, stretch it over to one side. Coming down, high to the sky. Grab your wrist, stretch over to the other side. One more time, high to the sky. Grab both hands together. Look behind you. Bring your hands down, and this time when you bring them down, let's go all the way down. Bring your chest towards your knees. Clasp your elbows, just give a little bit of a rock right here. And then let your hands drop to the ground. Maybe even grab the backs of your ankles. Give a little pull right there. Nice deep pipe stretch. And then roll slowly up, one vertebrae at a time. So thank you so much for taking the time to snowboard with me today. And stay tuned for my next video where we'll explore a variety of grabs and unlock the secrets to the tail block. And if you're looking for some fun opportunities to level up your on-snow game in person, join me in the Team Progression Sessions for a week-long snow camp adventure, destination Mount Hood. We'll be doing that this June and July. And if you're looking for a shred adventure of epic, legendary proportions, come join us this August in Chile. We'll be touring the entirety, or almost the entirety of the country, and it's going to be amazing. If you have any questions for me, feel free to find me on Facebook, Joshua Thompson Beret, or at Progression Sessions. You can also email me at josh@progressionsessions.fun. And once again, thank you so much. Wishing you all the best to stay happy, healthy, and stoked. Till next time. Now I want to take our ollies and our nollies to the next level. Let's see if we can. And if you're not here quite yet, if you're still working on the first part, if you're still working on the presses, that's totally fine. Everything's a progression, and we're going to get here. But what I want us to see if we can do is see if we can ollie and then tap our tail. So back here, I'm going to ollie. That's the big ollie. And now I'm going to try to ollie up and tap my tail and then land. One more time. Let's try the same thing over the nose. So over the nose here, up, That's kind of a little funny. Let's try it again. Over the nose.